Hello, racing fans. This is NASCAR Racing Fan 2015, back with another NASCAR View. And this silly season gets even crazier as Kasey Kahne, it turns out, will have a ride in 2018. He is going to be driving the number 95 Chevrolet Camaro for Leavine Family Racing. He will replace Michael McDowell in that car. And that's very interesting. So obviously, Kasey Kahne lost his ride at Hendrick Motorsports because of just pure underperformance. He didn't live up to the hype. He got worse and worse every year, and eventually Hendrick Motorsports decided to kick him out after Farmers Insurance and Great Clips both left. And they promoted William Byron to the 5, now going to be renumbered 24 Chevrolet. So Kasey Kahne goes to the 95 car. And what I think of this move, I'd say it's kind of one of those 50-50 moves. I mean, realistically, there's some part, I'm happy that Kasey Kahne got another ride. I mean, he doesn't deserve to be totally kicked out of the sport. You know, I just didn't think he was deserving of a top-tier ride. I mean, Kasey Kahne, in his 6 years at Hendrick Motorsports, only managed a few wins. And, I mean, he got worse and worse every year. His best year was 2012. His second best was 2013. Probably his third best was 2014. And then the only reason why 2017 is ahead of 2015 and 2016 is because Keith Rodden made a very lucky strategy call and got the win. Oh, and by the way, Keith Rodden, after 99 races at the 5 cars, finally out of a job. Finally. He was by far the worst crew chief I've ever seen at Hendrick Motorsports. And they brought Darien Grubb. Are you kidding me? That is awesome. I mean, he is a very good crew chief. I mean, hopefully he can crew chief William Byron. That would be awesome. Please, Hendrick Motorsports, please keep that like it is. And then we'll have to see how the other Hendrick Motorsports crew chiefs go. I'm really interested in this weekend, not only because Darien Grubb is going to be Kasey Kahne's crew chief, and if we see a big swing in performance, we'll have an answer for why the 5 car sucks. But not only that, we're going to find out how fast, how good the current 24 team is with the whole penalty that Chase Elliott has. He has Kenny Francis, so we're going to see if really the 24 team is just better than the 5 team, or if it has to do with the crew chief. Because if we see Kasey Kahne outrun Chase Elliott next week, we see Chase Elliott struggle, then it's all on the crew chief. If we see the same results, it's probably either the team or the driver that is making it better. So this is it. I'm just making that a short add-in to this NASCAR View since it's about Kasey Kahne. I wanted to talk about the crew chief swap at Hendrick, or the crew chief change at Hendrick Motorsports, and obviously the whole Chase Elliott penalty. And honestly, to that, I'll talk about that penalty. I'll just throw that into. I feel like it's a 50-50 penalty as well. I don't get why it's a 15-point penalty. It should be a 35-40-point penalty, if you're honest. I mean, it even said encumbered. I don't get why it's only 15 points. I mean, I hate to say this, but I feel like NASCAR might have played favoritism, especially to the 2014. I really hate to say that, but I think if anything's encumbered, it should have been as big as, Kyle Larson's penalty. What about that? He got like 35 points. Denny Hamlin's penalty, he got a big points fine. Logano. And yet at Chase Elliott, 15 points is still manageable. I mean, realistically, he should probably be on the bubble with the whole cheating. On the other hand, though, when you have Martin Truex Jr. almost 10 seconds ahead of the field, somehow he doesn't have a penalty yet. I mean, I get the 78's fast, but it's just awfully suspicious. I don't get this team. They're always late to inspection. Every time there's inspection issues, and somehow they still end up with a huge lead every single race, and somehow Martin Truex Jr. hasn't gotten I don't think he's gotten any big penalties like an encumbered finish or anything. It seemed like it's basically been the same thing. So I don't really get it. I mean, the 10-second lead is kind of too much. That's just crazy. And imagine if he didn't have that pit penalty, he could have lapped almost the entire field. And it gets ridiculous because it's not only like one or two races. It seemed like it's almost every race. The 78 is the clear favorite. It seemed like there's barely any challenge unless a caution comes out. Last three races, Martin Truex Jr. probably should have won all three of them. Somehow he only got one win. Michigan probably could have went his way. He should have like 10 wins by now. And, I mean, it's just suspicious. Brad Keselowski could be onto something, but obviously I've gotten way off topic. I just wanted to throw in like three things. So back to Kasey Kahne. So, like I was saying, it's a 50-50 move for Kasey Kahne and how he's going in 95. I'm happy for Kasey Kahne. I mean, he does deserve to be in the sport, but it comes at the expense of Michael McDowell. And Michael McDowell wasn't a terrible driver. I mean, if you look at it, he's been very consistent. He's up there with like Daniel Suarez and I think Clint Boyer. They've been the most consistently. They haven't crashed that much, and they've quietly been in the mix. I mean, they've quietly put together good runs. And Michael McDowell, you could say, is probably more consistent than like a guy like Erik Jones who it's either checkers or wreckers with that kid. More consistent than even you could say like any of the Hendrick cars. You could say he's more consistent than because Hendrick has been like a roller coaster. I mean, Jimmy Johnson it's been hit or miss. They've either had speed or they haven't. With Chase Elliott, it's either they've been quietly a top 5, top 10, or some bad luck happens. And then with Kasey Kahne and Dale Jr., it's a roller coaster. And then Kasey Kahne, it's either just like 20th. And then a couple wrecks. But Michael McDowell only crashed, I think, like twice this year. It was Indy, and I forget what the other race was. So he has been a quiet contender. I really think McDowell deserves to get another ride somewhere. Maybe he goes back to the Xfinity Series. There's probably why not he replace Michael Annett in the 5? I mean, that's probably too much to ask for, but Michael Annett sucks. He's not very good. He barely made the playoffs in junior motorsports equipment, and somehow he still has a ride. So Michael McDowell, I think, deserves somewhere. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know. I guess it's sponsorship, but I really thought they were going to go to 2 teams. Because, I mean, it sounded like they were still evaluating their options like 3 days ago. I'm sitting here like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? I thought we weren't going to get an announcement until October or November, not like 3 days later. I mean, like I said, it's not as bad as Erik Jones. Let's knock out Matt Kenseth, and he's still fairly producing results. He's a quiet contender. Yeah, he says veteran leadership at Joe Gibbs. Yeah, let's totally kick him out and put another rookie. They're exactly in the same position they were in 2012 with Kyle Busch, Logano, and Denny Hamlin. And then let's see. I mean, Paul Menard of the 21. Menard really didn't deserve that ride. He's just been at RCR. I mean, to get there on their downfall, but you have Ryan Newman, who's consistently been in the playoffs. Austin Dillon's consistently been in the playoffs. And Paul Menard can barely muster a top 20, 25 finish. Sometimes he gets beat by Danica. After that, I mean, Ryan Blaney going to the 12. As much as I hate how, he's in a different car now, I mean, good. It was a good move. I mean, Alex Bowman in the 88? Alex Bowman really deserved that ride. He's done some good things. I mean, William Byron, even though, Kane lost his sponsorship, there was some controversy. I mean, he did a good job in that car, and Hendrick decided that this was the time to promote William Byron to that ride. We have, I mean, even last year, like with Daniel Suarez, I mean, Suarez deserved the 19. Honestly, he deserved to ride more than Jones. To this day, I'll still take a consistent Daniel Suarez over a guy like Erik Jones. I don't want a guy who's going to basically be checkers or wreckers. You're basically just rolling the dice. If you get a 1 or if you get a 6, that's pretty much like a win. Oh, that's great. But then sometimes with Erik Jones you get a 1 or a 2, and you have to like go back, or you are just on a roller coaster ride. Especially with like there's races like Richmond, Darlington, Bristol with Erik Jones that he's done well, and then you have races like Chicagoland where he does terrible. I mean, I'd rather have. I mean, I think it's good to have the consistency, but you also have, of course, the ability to win. Like a talent like Kyle Larson or some other talented drivers. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, Michael McDowell, yeah, I think I kind of feel bad for him a little bit, like I've been saying. So, hopefully he gets another ride. So now I'm going to go on to possibly the dominoes to this effect. So obviously McDowell is now a free agent along with Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola. Maybe Carl Edwards or Greg Biffle could still be into play if they want to come back. But anyway, so what does this do now? So we have obviously the 41 cars open. Oh yeah, Danica Patrick. Danica Patrick's a free agent. So we have the 41, the 27 car, the 10 car. Those are the 3 rides, big rides, that are still open. And obviously, I think the 41 is still going to be Kurt Busch. I can't see Stuart Haas getting rid of him. I mean, he's been a great asset to the team. I can't see them kicking him to the curb. And like I said, he's made the playoffs every single year. I don't think they don't need to kick him out. And then after that, 10 cars probably going to Almirola. I can see it now. I think Smithfield, the reason why they left the 43 was to get sponsorship, was for they wanted Bubba Wallace in the 43. Or Richard Petty Motorsports wanted Bubba Wallace, and Smithfield wanted Almirola. So when they forced Bubba Wallace on him, Smithfield decided to leave. Almirola's probably going to the 10 because there's really no other options. Kenseth said he's not going. Kane said he's not going. Danica Patrick left that team. Cole Custer's kind of too young. So I doubt seeing him there. And then the 27 car, I said this last week. I'm still going with that. I still think Danica Patrick gets the 27. Tony Stewart said today there's plenty of options for Danica Patrick. And honestly, I do think. Because you have Aspen Dental. You have Code 3, we don't know what they're going to do yet. And we also have, let's see, what other sponsor? Oh, yeah, Tax Act. If Aspen Dental and Tax Act can put up at least 20 to 25 races of sponsorship, I think Danica Patrick will take over the 27 car. RCR, like I said, they're probably in need of money. Danica Patrick has that money to fund. And so that's why I think Danica Patrick will go to the 27, or possibly an Xfinity ride, maybe. And I think she will go to RCR. That's just my honest prediction. I hate to say it, but I think Danica, her career is far from over. There's always going to be that team that wants the woman driver to get more money, more exposure. I mean, RCR could be targeting being the next Hendrick Motorsports. We'll have Danica Patrick as the woman driver. We'll have Austin Dillon in the legacy of the 3 car. And then maybe Ryan Newman will get his car renumbered. I don't know what they could do with his car. They'll make it even more popular. And then, like I said, Matt Kenseth, honestly, at this point, he's done. I hate how Kenseth's the type of person, he's always hiding the fact that he doesn't have. He's saying, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" Or like he said, he's not worried at all. He's calm and cool, not worried about. He said, there's still 10 races left in the playoffs, but honestly, I mean, there are no options left out there. Matt Kenseth is basically a sitting duck at this point. Just retirement is looming him. I mean, he's old. He can't perform anymore. He can't win. He's not young. So, I mean, and DeWalt's definitely staying with Erik Jones. I can't see them following Kenseth, especially just the future at JGR is brighter than just the future with Kenseth. I mean, Erik Jones, like I said, checkers or wreckers. He'll probably at least get in a victory lane, at least at Bristol. And then we have Circle K. I doubt they would give Kenseth a valuable offer to continue his career. Tide, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They might jump to another team. So honestly, Kenseth, your best bet is retirement. Honestly, I will be stunned if Kenseth gets a ride next year. At this point, they are just messing. It's just making me mad that Matt Kenseth is looking every day. Matt Kenseth's chances of getting a ride are slimmer and slimmer. I said Danica Patrick has a better chance of getting a ride than him. It's sad that Paul Menard has a ride next year. And Erik Jones gets promoted after his subpar checkers or wreckers season this year. Erik Jones, I'm going to say this right now, he is my new least favorite driver. I hate him more than Kyle Busch. I'm kind of controversial, but I mean, I just am sick and tired of the hype of Erik Jones. I mean, he gets promoted. He's not at the Truck Series. I'll admit he was good in the Truck Series. Xfinity Series, he choked up so much in his 2016 season. He couldn't even beat his Daniel Suarez, and he gets rushed up. I mean, they rush him up to Cup into the 77. Furniture Row adds all these resources and equipment to run the 77 for one season, and now they're going to shut down the 77. So they hire all these people, get all these resources, and now that car is closing. So they waste all this resources on Erik Jones. And they do all that, and their best option for them is to kick out Matt Kenseth for Erik Jones. So Erik Jones he's not a terrible person, but just the whole circumstance, I can't like this kid at all. I mean, just the whole mentality built around Erik Jones, the hype is way too much, honestly. I mean, the classic way, I think, is if a spot opens up, you take it. Kenseth had 25 races sponsored, and he still gets kicked out. 5 Hour Energy can't even move up with the team either. So you're only gaining sports clips. You're only gaining four races of sponsorship with this kid. And somehow they decide to kick out Matt Kenseth and put him into the retirement home for Erik Jones, a guy who's choked up, especially in the Xfinity chase last year, and a couple other circumstances. And Kenseth is on the outside looking in. So it just makes me mad. That's why I can't like Erik Jones. And I probably never will like him that much. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But anyways, bottom line with the Kasey Kahne, I'm happy for Kasey Kahne. I feel bad for Michael McDowell. He did his job. He did what he was supposed to do. He ran consistent in a lower tier team. I really hope this guy gets a ride somewhere. Maybe front row expansion. I heard they were going to try to go to 3 cars. Possibly he could be in the mix. He was rumored to take over Landon Castle's ride. I'd say Michael McDowell is probably better than Landon Castle. So I'd rather see him than Landon Castle. So maybe he can take over the 34. There's rumors Bubba Wallace, if the 43 team can't find sponsorship, which I highly doubt it, because Richard Petty handshakes sponsorship away. He will probably, if they don't get sponsorship, 43 car will probably shut down, and he might go to the 35 car. So it just depends. I mean, we have a couple dominoes towards the bottom of towards the last half of the NASCAR teams. All the big major shakeups in the big teams have happened, besides who's going to be the driver of the 10 car or whatever number they decide to make it. And what's, after that, we have what's going to happen with RPM, what's going to happen to Front Row Motorsports, what's going to happen to we have we have what's going to happen to BK Racing. Oh boy. That would be the one place I wouldn't want to see. If Kenseth gets announced as the next driver of BK Racing, I will have no. I'd rather see him retire than go to that broke team. To be completely honest, at least he'd have his dignity left. But yeah, that's just the bottom line. GMS, I heard, isn't going to feel the car, or they're not going to move up, which is kind of sad. I was hoping, even if it means Spencer Gallagher's going to come up, I mean, it would have been it probably would have been like an H. Scott in year one, but I would have liked to see them maybe in 2019. But yeah, like I said, good for Kasey Kahne. I really hope that team can contend. Maybe end up like Trevor Bayne is now, like a top 20 contender in points. And who knows, maybe get a win and make the playoffs. And that'll be certainly interesting. But wish the best of luck for Kasey Kahne and for Michael McDowell. So that's the end of the video, guys. So if you like this video, give it a like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, subscribe for more videos. This is NASCAR Racing Fan 2015 signing out.